Yes, indeed, a large cat, and I just decided to pop down here to see what was going on before we tried to return a little bit earlier. And there they are. There's one of them. I don't know where. The other two are just off to the left. We'll take a look at them shortly. Right. Okay, the other chap's moving out now. Oh, there we go. I'm just saying hello to Ryan over there. There we go. Can you see that one there? Roll on it, Craig, quickly. There. Great big lion over... Oh, hang on, you can't see the thing. Hang on, 1 second. Sorry about that. I parked Craig behind a bush and told him to film. There you go. Now, can you perhaps help me, everybody, identify what we're looking at here? I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is that must be Mfumo, the authority, because he's got his sort of enormous scar underneath his nose. The other guy I can't identify at this stage, but we're definitely going to try and get them from every angle, see if we can't figure out who's who. But they are very, very happy with each other's presence at the moment. And they're not doing a great deal, so we're not going to spend a huge amount of time here. But we'll just try and identify them all. So if you could help us. If you are a new viewer, there are 4 of these Birmingham boys, all born on the farm Birmingham, which is, well, not so much a farm as a reserve up to the north of us. And it actually borders on a place called Ngala, where both Herbert and I used to work. And that's where they were whelped, and they came down here when they got big enough to take a territory of their own. And we've named them recently Mfumo, that one. He's easy to recognize by his scarred face underneath his right eye. Nana, the warrior. Nsuku, the blonde one. And Tinyo, the tooth. Tinyo, the tooth, is easy to pick up because... well, he's got a sort of, he's got a split lip almost on over his left canine, left top canine. But the other two, I got to tell you, I will really struggle to recognize the difference between them. So if we can convince one of them to stick his head up, we'll see if we can't identify them. David, you say the other one there is Nana. David, are you able to tell me how you know that? I don't dispute it for 1 second. I just wish to know how on earth you know that. Ooh, he's moving. Quickly, Craig, there's high action here. Good grief, look at that. I can barely contain my heartbeat at the moment. Okay, I'm going to get us into a slightly better position here. Craig, we're going to have to pass through this little hole here. And if this chap to the right sticks his head up, I'll stop. You right there? Now, Dina, I have to agree with you. You say it's fun to see all of these chaps here in the sunshine together. It's wonderful to see them together because we never see them together. Ooh, that'll be a nice shot. No, I think I've made a mistake. I'm not sure that that is Mfumo. No, it's not. He doesn't have the scuff. And David, you say Nana has got the equal sign scratch on the top of his nose. Well, that one certainly doesn't have that. And he's got a very pink nose compared to the others. Well, that will change. That is very interesting, actually. I'm finding this very distressing. And of course, as Mfumo's nose has started to heal, right, so Taylor McCurdy, who was here this morning, thought it was Mfumo, Tinyo, and Nana. So is that perhaps Nana that we're looking at now? Because I don't think it's Mfumo anymore, given the fact that I don't see that great big scratch underneath his right eye. Well, we'll try and figure it out. We're not right. We're right in between them. Yes. Is there what? No, yeah, she is. She's on Vuatella. Well, their track's there. They're tracking her now. I'm just talking to Ryan, everyone. No, I think they're there, yeah. That's what they're following now. Where have I been hiding? Oh, well, you know, in and out. That's Ryan, everyone. He was asking about Karula, where she is. Is she still in the north? And why, by the north, he, of course, means on Vuatella. Right, now, here's the other one here, right next to us, not more than sort of, well, 3 meters or so, 9 feet. Very resplendent and comfortable in the shade. Now, Stacy, you say you've been gone for a little while. How dare you, Stacy? And then you say one of them used to be known as Blondie. Which one is that one now? Well, we think that's the one that is missing. That's Nsuku. Nsuku basically means Blondie in Shangaan. We decided that we couldn't have Blondie as a male lion name. It just wasn't nearly sort of terrifying enough. So we found the Shangaan word for blonde, and it's Nsuku. So he's now called Nsuku. That's N-S-U-K-U. Janine, I'm afraid I didn't get your question there. All I got was the big cat. Oh, right. Janine, you want to know who gets to name the cats. We're just going to drive around the other side and have a look at the third fellow there. Janine, the person that gets to name the big cats is me, because I am the best person in the world. Janine, I'm talking rubbish. We named the cats along with the guides at Vuatella, so that's Aubrey and Taxon, and then also with some of the senior guides from around here, because of course the Birmingham Boys occupy an enormous territory. So we put forward a few names, and just about all of them were accepted sort of forthwith. And here's the other one now. Now look how different the colour of his nose is. And so we suggested those names, and they were pretty much accepted. And then we had a little sort of almost naming ceremony at a fireside chat one evening. Now this guy's nose is much less beaten up than the others. Fascinating. Right, Mauricio, you say that Tinyo has got the point missing from the tip of his right ear. This isn't him, because Tinyo is obvious on this side of his face. So that's definitely not him. I've got to confess that I'm completely flummoxed by who's who here. Let's hope the other one. It would be very helpful if they'd sit up. There we go, big sneeze. And now the bush tickling his little ear. Makes you want to go over and give him a bit of a scratch, doesn't it? Promise you wouldn't want to do that, though. He'd be less than pleased with having you near him. Oh, thank you. That makes things a little more difficult for us. Right, let's move slightly forward. Craig, with that being any more active this morning, or not really? Oh, here we go. High action. And does anybody remember which one had the dreadful scarring on his belly from the mange, the scourge? The individual responsible for infecting all the lions around here. Do you remember who he was? Sorry, chaps, I don't mean to get quite so close. But we need to see you. We need to see your faces. Yes, now you see, I think that's almost certainly not. No, that is Mfumo. Okay, that's Mfumo. That's definitely him on the right-hand side. That's the hole that he's got beneath his eye. It's just healed quite nicely. So I'm going with Mfumo on that one. It's definitely not Tinyo, the one that we were looking at. So maybe Tinyo was the one under the other bush there. Does everyone agree with me? Hashtags for live questions at WildEarthTV. If you would like to tell me who you think these are. We're going to be here another 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to press on. And Hayley, you reckon that it was Tinyo that had the mange on his stomach? I seem to remember that being absolutely correct, yes. Thank you for that. All right, now you reckon, Liz, that this is Nana, the one with the undamaged nose. That's definitely Mfumo there. So Nana to the left of him, and then Tinyo off to the underneath the bushes on his own. Yeah, that makes sense to me, I must say, Liz. I would agree with you there. So we must remember, Nana, despite his warrior-like name, actually has a much less scarred face than the rest of them. Nice, also, an interesting trait of young Mfumo here is that his nose is pinker than the others. Now that tells me that he's younger than the others by, well, could be as much as 6 months. But that it should be black by 7 years old, and his has got a long way to go. So I'm going to say that he could easily be up to a year younger than the others, which I think is quite interesting, because he certainly seemed to be dominating many of the interactions that they had together. He seemed to be dominating much of the mating that was going on, so that's quite interesting. All right, Taylor, quite apart from finding Karula, has actually managed to find some dung.